Let's go. Yo. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast. And that's facts.
Well, hello, welcome in, Monsters of the Madhouse Chicago Sports Podcast, and we are so delighted to have you all in with us tonight. Thank you for joining us as we are getting rolling here with the Bears, the coaching search, and everything going on right now. As we got Ben Johnson, who signed on as the head coach on Monday, and we got some dominoes starting to fall. Dano, first off, what's going on, man? How you doing?
So going on, Coop. Just getting the weekend kicked off. Was watching a little wrestling earlier and just ready to go, ready for some playoffs, ready to talk some Bears. Excited about Ben Johnson. As you know, that's who I wanted all along. So it's like very early Christmas morning or late Christmas morning, however you want to say it.
Yeah, I know it's been a week since we've had our show, so it's so much fun because we were talking about it last week. He was our number one pick for both of us. And to see him here now, and as the dominoes are starting to fall, and we're going to go over that really quickly here before we get into the mock draft tonight. I see you guys all in the chat room as well. Plank, Frank, you guys, Crooked Commish, thank you guys all so much for watching the show. You can like and subscribe on our YouTube page. Ooh, it's easy for me to say. YouTube page, YouTube channel, Daniel, because it's Friday night, man. That's why we got so much excitement in my voice right now. But it's been a busy night so far because there's been a lot of breaking news. Adam Schefter's been a very busy guy. If you follow him, whatever platform you follow him on, I usually see him on X. So the first one to fall was Antoine Randall, as he tweeted out earlier today, working on finalizing a deal to make him the wide receivers coach, the assistant head coach. Then he also talked about Al Harris, as Al Harris also looks like we're going to be getting him now as a DB's coach, as he's coming from Dallas. And then, according to multiple sources, the one that I saw was NBC Sports. JT Barrett, who is the assistant quarterbacks coach for the Lions, looks like he is now going to be our quarterbacks coach. So 3 coaches in one night here, Dano. That's pretty cool. And these are all, first off, when you start thinking about some of these names, man, you think of Al Harris, former player, great player for the Packers. Antoine Randall, my girlfriend, I told her that because she was a Steeler fan. He was on the Steelers.
Yes.
And I told her an aunt from Chicago. And then I like the hiring of JT Barrett. So just a couple of your initial thoughts there, Dano.
Yeah, I mean, we were hearing some reports or some whispers initially that Ben Johnson wasn't going to pluck from the Detroit Lions coaching staff, but that doesn't seem to be the case. We'll see how these guys do, but if Ben Johnson's picking them, I have confidence that they're quality coaches or has the potential to be quality coaches.
I agree with that. And by the way, speaking of the coaching breakdown, you guys can watch Coffee with Tracks tomorrow morning because he's going to be jumping on and he's going to give you a full breakdown on all the latest Bears news and the coaches and the coaching search and everything that you might not even know about with these coaches. As like Dano said, they're coming from anything that Ben Johnson touches right now, we're excited because it looks like it's going to be something big, Dano. And,
yeah, let's hope so.
We want big things, man. We're not used to that here as Bears fans. Hey, speaking of big things, guys, tonight we're going to do a mock draft of the 2025 draft. So if you just give me 1 second here, I am going to share, there we go, our mock draft screen. And I'm going to pull this up. And you guys can do this at home, by the way, too. All right, there we go. I think I got it. Let's do this right here. And so what you guys are seeing right now, this is profootballnetwork.com. This is their mock draft. And anybody can do this. It's actually a pretty cool website because you can go on here, not only do that, but there's other things you can do on here as well. I was playing around with the offseason manager a little bit earlier, Dano. And this is so cool to go see what you think the draft is going to look like. And I don't know, Dano, are you ready? You got your assignment grid. You got everything ready in front of you tonight.
I'm ready to go. Let's go. Let's build that offensive line or defensive line.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and I'm going to enter the solo draft. And here we go, guys. I wonder who the first pick is going to be. Oh, what a shocker. Shedeur Sanders. Colorado going to Cam Ward. Wow. I can't. Both teams that need quarterbacks, by the way. So as we
Right.
go through this draft, the biggest needs for the Bears right now, guys, I think we could all agree on offensive line, defensive line, and everything that I've read so far, Dano, that this is a draft for that. And this is a very good draft for that. So we're going to find out here in a second what our first pick is going to be. And we are going to land here in just 1 second. Here we go. All right. So here, first off, we get a trade offer. So Dano, I'm going to ask you first. I'm going to have you be the GM tonight. We got pick number 10. Seattle is offering us $18.50 and a 2026 third round, which sounds very intriguing. But at the same time, with all the needs that we have, I think this is a draft where we have to stay put.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm going to try.
We need to get some starters out of this like now. So I don't want to push it back any further.
And then, as you can see on the side over there, there's a couple of ones that stand out to me. Ashton, the running back, that's a name that you're going to hear a lot of. It's going to be interesting to see if this is something Ben Johnson wants to go with, as he did with the draft with the Lions a couple years ago. Abdul Carter, I'm a big fan of his too. If you watched him too, especially in the playoffs with Penn State, he's one of the edge rushers you want to look at. And then you see Michael Williams as well, the edge rusher from Georgia. So, Dano, who should we select here in the first pick of the draft?
So, Ashton Genty is a sexy pick. It's hard to pass up on him, but I mean, we got to just finally pull that Band-Aid off and address these lines. I just see like number 3. Is Will Campbell still up there?
Yes, we do. We have him. That'd be the offensive tackle from LSU. That is a guy that is also being very highly talked about.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I think Will Campbell, even if he doesn't project out as a tackle, I think you got to try to start him out there initially. But I mean, we need guards too, so he projects to be a quality guard too, if not tackle. What do you think? You like Campbell?
I think that's where our selection is going to be. You know what's funny? I was looking between him and the running back. People in the chat, by the way, bringing up some good points. Keith brings up it all depends on free agency, which is totally true too. We got to see how free agency breaks out. But Dano, I'm going to go with. I say we start off with I think with this offense, we need to start up front, kind of like what the Chargers did last year. So we're going to make our pick with Will Campbell, first pick in our mock draft. I think that's a safe bet too.
Yeah. Yep.
It'll be very interesting to see how the first round goes this year and see if there's going to be any trades or not as well.
Yeah.
Keith chiming in again here too, Dano, saying that they will go line heavy. I hope they re-sign Jenkins and sign Trey Smith in the center from Tampa. Trey Smith, by the way, you can see him this weekend. He's going to be playing with the Chiefs on Sunday.
I've had my eyes on him too. Yeah, I had my eye on him too.
Yeah, I think he's a very good player. It's going to be interesting too to see what lineman is going to be released.
Yeah, was it Abdul Carter? Was that the Penn State guy? He's hard to pass up too, though, because we do need another we need another edge rusher for sure, or defensive lineman in general.
So it's going to be interesting to see what we get here with the second pick.
Yeah, for sure.
But you're right. I think if they go into this draft and go like the Steelers kind of did last year with the first 3 or 4 picks of their draft going with offensive linemen, I would not be upset with that.
No, not at all.
So I see the Titans here took Walter Nolen. That was another guy I was kind of had kept my eye on.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to have our pick here in just 1 second. If you guys in the chat too comment and who you're kind of looking at, is there anybody in this draft that you have an eye on? And we are going to be coming up to the 41st pick in the second round. So here's our first trade offer, Dano. So the Indianapolis Colts are going to offer pick 45 and pick 116 for pick 41. Now, keep in mind, we do have pick 42 right after this. So this is a trade that would kind of intrigue me a little bit if you're trying to get more picks, because remember this too with our team is we do need more depth, whether that's going to be in the 6th or 7th round, which I know can be hit or miss, but the depth is also very important when you see a trade like this.
Yeah, I don't know if 116 does much for me. Is this the only trade offer we got right now?
No, we have
two.
We have one more. The other one we have here would be coming from the Cincinnati Bengals. They want to offer pick 49 and a 2026 second round pick.
What defensive lineman we got available? Or
if we go back here, we do have Marshall, Mike Green from Marshall, who I read a little bit about when I was doing my draft scouting. Looks like a big, strong guy. Also plays at Marshall. Then there's also Shamir Stewart, edge rusher from Texas A&M, who I've also read
Hmm.
very great raving reviews about. A lot of people, there were some people that actually had him in the first round as well, and here we
Yeah,
are in the second
yeah.
round. So I don't know if you have an opportunity to get somebody like him as well. Do you accept one of these trades, or do you think we go? Don't forget we got the 42nd pick as well. But so I guess it would all depend on what Indianapolis would take, or that's that pick. Um, or the Bengals 49. So what do you think, Dan? Is there any of these trades that you like, or should we go on with our pick?
I think we go on with the pick. I mean, I like like Stewart. What's the chat saying? They got any
So as
strong
we go,
opinions?
yeah. So as I go around here, we have Asmonic 74 bear down. What's going on there, Plank? Good to see you. We have another chat here from Keith saying that the DEs will be off the board pretty early. I agree with that. That's what's making it
Yeah.
so hard for this pick. We
Hmm.
got our good buddy Brad Lowe. Awesome. Good to see Brad tonight. What a freaking time to be a Bears fan. Hell yeah, it is. So I think a lot over census, Dano, is yes, we go ahead here with a edge rusher. One of these
Yeah,
edge
let's go
rushers.
Stewart. Let's
All right,
go
let's
Stewart.
go Shabir Stewart. And then that should bring us now to the 42nd pick. And we also have true trade offers. So we got the Atlanta Falcons asking for the 46th pick in the 2026 third round. This is for our 42nd pick and pick 235. We also have an offer from Seattle offering their 50th pick and their 2026 second round pick. That's pretty high too. So I think you got the edge rusher, and I think this is a pretty deep draft when we're looking for tackles and guards. I think that's a
Right.
pretty good trade there from Seattle.
What do
Well,
you? Let me ask you this: do you think O'Marion Hampton will be there at 46?
I
The
guess it
running back
depends
from
when we
North
go down and take a
Carolina.
look. I mean the 49ers are right after us, and that could be
Right.
somebody that they're looking for because of the health of their running backs from last year. That's a good question, Daniel. I don't know. I think he could be very well be gone.
Because I really like the O'Marion Hampton right here. I don't know what you guys think. I know we just talked about building the line, but what are we going to do in free agency?
And then I
Um,
got one here from Osmotic 74, Chris Foster, the O tackle from LSU. Yeah, I've been reading a little bit about him as well. That'd be
hmm
something that's very tempting. Crooked Commish said
hmm
that's tempting as well. As he's chiming in tonight. Thanks for watching, man.
He says the tackle is tempting, or Hampton.
Yeah, I think he's talking about the trades. But
Oh,
you know
oh,
what's funny,
okay.
Daniel? Let's think about. But you know what? When you go back to your running back point, if you've heard
Hmm.
a little bit about Ben Johnson, he's really in. He talked a little bit about the running back, saying he likes the running back room. However, they're going to be looking at
Right,
all options. Meaning, I'm thinking he's looking for his type of running back to be in this offense.
right, right. And we already Hampton's more of got a little more of a power runner than
I think
Swift.
that, and I think that would be something that. So I say we reject these trades and go with a running back.
Yeah, I like. I mean, I like Hampton. I don't know if you got another running back that would grade that high that you might go with, but I've done a little scouting. Oh, I use that term loosely. I've done a little scouting on that Hampton, and I think he's the second rated running back in the draft and on most people's boards.
Top 3 to 5, the most boards that I've seen too. I know you're
Yeah.
the strength and conditioning coach, but I think we're gonna go with your I think we're gonna go with your Hampton pick, and I think this is somebody that would
Yeah.
fit very well in our offense. And
Yeah.
if
I
you guys
like
could
it.
chime in too, let us know if we're doing a bad job on our draft so far. Because me and Dano, let's just say this: we're not
We're not. Yeah. We're not college
we're,
scouts.
we're not we're our professional GMs here, right? I'm
Right.
Ben Johnson, and you're
I guess I look a little like Antoine Randall, huh?
the guy coming back to Chicago. Very excited for him to come back to our team too. By the
Yeah.
way, Antoine
Yeah.
Randall. Dan, I don't know if you remember this because both of us grew up on the south side of Chicago, but
Yep.
he grew up like not that far from us, and
Yeah,
he was playing
dude.
football at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. He was right over it by us, right in the. I forget what team. What team do you remember?
Thornton, was it Thornton that he played for?
Yeah, yeah, something one of those. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I see. We got
Yep.
quick commission coming in and said, yeah, that was a pretty good trade offer. That he goes, I like the extra second round pick. That's exactly where I was going too, man, for the second round pick for
Yeah.
next year.
Yeah.
And then Bradlow says, well, I can't type. He wasn't here for the first pick. I can't type either, man. And then we got Antmis in here as well saying Should have went with a D tackle. You know what? That's a good question too, man. I think
Yeah, yeah,
you're not going to go wrong in this draft, man. Because let's just put it this way: right now, the Bears, we're so happy with our coaching staff and what we've gotten so far, but there's a lot of needs on this team.
yeah. And hopefully, this new coaching staff could coach some of these guys up too that we already have. You know.
It'll be interesting. Up our picks coming up here. So we're about to
Hmm.
select, and here we go. Our first trade. So now we are into the third round of the 2025 NFL draft. This is our mock draft that we're doing tonight. We have the LA Rams. They want to offer us pick 90 and pick 100 for pick 72 and pick 204. I don't know if I like that one so much.
No, what's the next offer?
Then we got one from the Las Vegas Raiders, who are pretty much looking for everything right now. Who has Pete Carroll? Looks like they have Pete Carroll as their
Yeah,
head coach. That was announced
yeah.
earlier today. Well, at one point, I thought we were possibly going to get.
Oh,
So
I
we're
did
looking at
too.
pick 78th and the 2026 fourth round pick. And I think when we start getting into some of these trade offers right now, the further down you go, the more I'm just like, I
Yeah,
don't know if you want to. I think we could still find some other pretty decent players in
yeah.
here. And already, Daniel, I don't know about you, but I'm going to go ahead and reject these trades.
Yep, yep.
And I already saw there's a couple I'm looking here already.
Okay,
Marcus Mbell, the offensive tackle from Purdue. That the reason why I rejected that trade is because I saw his name on here on the draft board already, and a little bit
okay.
of and I was watching and reading a little bit of him, and I actually saw some people in their drafts have him in the third round, and some have
Oh,
had him
wow.
up pretty high. So, it's a little bit more I read about him. That's somebody that you could have compete.
Hmm.
As we have a tackle spot that's going to be open and there's going to be competition, or do we want to go another one I'm looking at is a guy that I can tell you a little bit about, Omar Lott. That's number 78 down here, defensive tackle here from Tennessee, who I saw play last year here, watching him play Tennessee. Had a good year. Um, Big dude, but I feel like this is a type of defense that he could fit very well in, depending what defense comes in, if it stays with the defense that we have right now. And then again, guys, this is what's fun about this draft. This all depends on our coaches still getting hired right now because we have a feeling that Dennis Allen was probably going to get hired, but he still hasn't been hired just yet. Or it could be going into another direction. They're still interviewing other guys. But if it stays with that, I think that lot could be a perfect fit for the defense.
So you think he's like a three technique, Coop?
Could be, yes. I it says or guard Tate from Georgia,
Okay.
who we're talking about, and yeah, because that's another guy. Another thing that we're looking for is guards as well.
Right.
But
Or centers too, man.
center,
Yeah.
we're kind of looking around at the center as I'm going through here though, on our list
Mhm.
right now. Darren Porter's another one to look at, even though I think we're pretty strong at our corner position.
Mhm.
I don't know, Dan. What do we think? Do we want to go with a lineman? Do we want to go with a tackle? Because we do need help on the defensive line too. So
I think maybe we go with a defensive tackle because I think we're going to address one minimal one, maybe two spots on free agency. Man, I really do.
okay, so let's go with a lot here. I guess I'm being a little biased too, since I live here in Tennessee and I got to see
That's
more
all
of those
right.
games.
Hey, you know me. I'm a big Tennessee fan too. So
So the first four picks so far, we have gone O line, D line. We did go with one running back, which I think could have been a stretch. That could be an argument.
right,
That's what I love doing the mock drafts right now because any one of these is up for debate.
right.
And I think with our team, even as I just mentioned a little bit earlier, we have so many needs right now that I think you don't go wrong when you take a running back and a defensive lineman and another tackle. It's just because we need to fill some of these spots. But free agency is going to speak a lot to this too.
Yeah, and you also we got to remember we're not. I mean, I feel like we say this every offseason now, but we're not going to fill every hole this offseason. It's just not going to happen. There's too many of them. You
Oh,
know.
Ant-Man says should have taken a running back and taken the D tackle. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, listen. I'm not going to sit here and argue with that, man.
Yeah.
I just had a good feeling about the running back from what I read with him, but I'm definitely not going to
Yeah.
disagree with you, man, on that.
That and like we said, Ben Johnson seems to love his running backs. I know
Well,
we got to get that offensive line taken care of. That's the most important. But
that was my takeaway when and watching him in his interviews and his press conferences when he's
yeah,
talking about the running back. So
yeah. Just look at
I think that
Detroit.
we did.
Just look at
They took
Detroit. And I
Jahmyr
don't.
Gibbs.
Yeah, and I don't think. Yeah, I remember too. I don't know if you were the same. I remember when they took Jameer Gibbs. I'm like, what are they doing? You know,
I
thought
thought
that.
I was like, up, it's the Lions doing the Lions again.
Yeah,
But
right.
thank you guys for watching tonight. Like and subscribe our YouTube channel, our YouTube page. Don't forget we have shows all the time. Tomorrow morning, Coffee with Trax. He's going to be on talking about our newest coaches that are joining the Bears staff here with Ben Johnson. He'll break them down, everything that you need to know going forward. Thank you guys in the chat room tonight as we're talking about the NFL draft. I believe we're in the 5th round right now, Dano, as we are flying
I
by in tonight's draft.
I think we got to start thinking about looking for the best top-rated center, maybe,
As I'm going through the
if
list
there's
here.
one worth taking.
You know what's going to be interesting? I did I see correctly that the center for the Packers is going to be a free agent this offseason? I don't think they re-signed him. I would have to go take a look, and if there's anybody in the chat room that knows that, I thought I saw that a couple of days ago, and if that's the case,
Remember the last center we got from the Packers?
maybe we don't want to get a center from the Packers.
What was his
Lucas
name? I don't even
Patrick.
remember.
Lucas
Yeah.
Patrick.
Yes. Yes. I got.
Boy, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, I got Packers center PTSD.
Maybe we stick with the draft then. Lucas Patrick, who went to the Saints. You know what? I feel bad for him though, man, because he was been injured so much, and he was injured this year
Yeah.
for the Saints too. Because it looked like, for everything I read, it looked like he was actually off to a really good start for them. Like they were praising him on how he was playing, and then
Yeah,
all
I
of a
remember
sudden,
that too. Yeah. Yep. Guy just can't
unfortunately,
stay healthy.
that's the unfortunate part about it. So,
Yeah.
all right, guys. So we're gonna in just a second here, we're gonna be going to our picks. And thank you guys for watching the chat room tonight.
You know, another thing we think about, depending on, do we need are we going to address, or do we need, in your opinion, do we need a true speedy slot receiver? Are we going to address that in free agency with maybe like a Hollywood Brown? Is there maybe a guy in the draft we could steal? I know it's not exactly a big need. but I
That
just
could
don't
be a
know
good
if we-
question too, Dano.
you know,
Here we are, 5th round. We got pick 148, the Carolina Panthers. We have our first trade up, Dano, 148 for pick 149 and 229. As that would just give us an extra pick.
mhm.
And it's something I think you can consider, considering we need different we need some depth on our team.
I mean, we're only moving back one,
And get that extra pick.
Yeah.
All right. I think we'll accept it.
We could just use that as leverage to trade next year, or you know what I mean?
And it could also be another depth piece here as Ryan Poles goes into the draft this year, and we figure out what we need and what we don't need. So far, our first 4 picks of the draft, we took Will Campbell, offensive tackle, LSU, for the first pick. Shamir Stewart, the edge rusher, Texas A&M. Omarion Hampton, running back, North Carolina, and Omar Norman Lott, defensive tackle, as our first 4 picks of the draft so far.
Hey guys, drop a grade so far. What you think our draft is so far? Be honest.
And our next pick here, Dano, we have we are up here. So I think what I'm looking at is either another offensive lineman or a safety. I think a safety. I think we have to get some safety depth as well, as I see Malachi Moore from Alabama, who I'm a big fan of.
I like that. I like where you're going with that.
For our safety depth. So I think we're going to go with him.
I think that's a good value pick.
And there we go. And then so our first 5 picks of the draft so far, everyone, are decided Campbell, Stewart, Hampton, Lott, and Moore. And we'd love to know what you guys think in the chat right now. See you guys all coming in here. We got Atmos and Dennis Rudy. They're getting in the mind of the pass bears. We're getting called as pass bears. I think our GM hats so far, Dan, are getting questioned.
Hey, you know what? This is our first mock draft this year, man. For at least mine and yours, so we're a little rusty.
You know, it's funny. It's like somebody asked me before, like, could you imagine being a booker for a wrestling booker? And I'm like, no, man. There's no way. I would be terrible.
Oh, that, or you can never satisfy everybody. You know,
Oh, here's something. We got Dennis actually says next round let the chat pick. All right, I think that's a good
All
idea.
right, let's do it.
So our the next pick here in the draft, we will let you guys figure out for the sixth pick in the draft. We're gonna let you guys take a look and see what you guys think you would choose.
Just give a quick rundown one more time what we got so far.
Yeah, so we took Will Campbell, LSU, Shabir Stewart, edge, Texas A&M, Omarion Hampton, running back, North Carolina, Omar Norman Lott, defensive tackle, Tennessee, Malachi Moore, who is a safety from Alabama. And then so somebody gave us all right, Daniel. We got a grade here from Asma Ben Johnson. He says B plus.
All right,
I'll take that.
All right, take it.
Thank you, man. Thanks for chiming in tonight in the chat room.
How much did you cash app him?
You could also
Matt.
Venmo.
Yeah, how much did you Venmo him?
I didn't do that. PayPal.
Yeah. Backdoor meat.
We're gonna keep that a secret, Daniel. So we got a couple more picks here. So when we get here to the sixth round, we'll let you guys pick and see who you guys like. As a matter of fact, we're gonna be coming here in just a second. And first off, we're probably gonna get a trade offer.
Yeah.
And we'll see what that is. Normally that's the case. And no, it doesn't look like we're gonna get one.
Yeah.
So okay, guys. So we got the next pick here in the draft, pick 229. And the number one rank right now is 186 running back Devin Neal from Kansas. We got Seth McLaughlin, offensive center from Ohio State. Patrick Jenkins, defensive tackle, Tulane. And then we got quite a few running backs in here. There's also a quarterback. And Tyler Beatty, edge rusher, BYU. And then also a linebacker in there. So if you guys want to go ahead in the chat here and we'll see what you guys think. We got Atmos on here chiming in tonight. Thanks for watching, man. First pick, best D-line or trade back to the Eagles, edge and the defensive tackle, second gird. So he's talking a lot of offensive linemen. So
yeah,
in the first couple of
like I said, we're doing this without the knowledge of what they're going to be doing in what they'll have done in free agency too. So it makes it a little more.
And also too, there's still going to be more players, and it's something else that I know me and you talked a little bit about, Dano. There's going to be some more players coming out too.
Right.
There's still some more players that have not announced that
Right.
or have entered the draft.
Yep.
So as we got the sixth round right here. All right, so we got a lot of talk of talking about offensive linemen. So Seth McLaughlin, read about this here right here at center here, Ohio State. That was probably the one I was eyeing right now.
Yeah.
I was also looking at Patrick Jenkins, another tackle of Tulane.
Yeah, I like the Seth McLaughlin.
So let's choose Seth McLaughlin, the sixth pick, offensive center, which we definitely need a center or some competition for center this year.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna have one more pick in the draft. Thank you guys in the chat room tonight.
Oh shit, we forgot.
Ben Johnson says O-line.
we forgot to get another punter.
Don't worry about that, Dan.
We fucking missed it.
We got next year's draft.
Should have drafted one in the third round this year.
Cheryl, thank you, Cheryl. We appreciate you, Cheryl. Thank you
Cheryl,
so much for
what's
watching
up?
tonight. And beer down.
Cheryl's the best, man.
Cheryl, always keeping us updated too of all the scores going on. We got Plank in here. Beer down, man.
Plank, what's up,
Thank
buddy?
you for watching tonight and everybody else watching tonight.
Yeah, good.
You guys could like and subscribe our YouTube channel on our YouTube page. You can have that right there for you, so all the notifications pop up on your phone. And we'll let you know when new shows happen. As we got one more pick left here in the draft. Dano says we should take another punter. Maybe a field goal kicker this time. We don't need anything else.
Like a jerk.
I gotta give it credit though, man. He was a good punter. He did have a very good year last year.
Yeah, but another offensive lineman would look pretty nice there too. But you know what?
All right, we got one last pick here, Dano. One last pick, and here it is. We got edge rusher RJ Oben from Notre Dame. We have Jackson Hawes, Georgia Tech.
What about a receiver?
Thor Griffith from Louisville.
What about a receiver?
I think quite a few receivers just came out there. There's Andrew Armstrong from Arkansas, who I do remember. I remember him playing against Tennessee last year. He's a pretty good player.
I think, yeah. I mean, I don't
And
know.
there's Will Shepard from Colorado too.
I'm thinking receiver. I don't know about you, just because we don't know what's going to happen with what's his name? Number 13, Keenan.
Keenan
Yeah, we
Allen.
don't know what's going to happen with him.
Yeah, Keenan Allen. We don't. I don't think he's going to be back, but you never know.
Yeah,
So maybe it's not a bad idea to go with a depth piece
right.
for wide receiver.
Yeah.
And it also depends. And again, it depends who's out there in free agency this year too.
Mhm.
I don't think they're going to be spending a lot of money on wide receivers in free agency this year.
Right. You know what I think? I don't know
But
how you feel, but I kind of like when they had. I think they had too many receivers to try to get to distribute the ball to, with Rome, DJ, Keenan, and Cole Kmet. You know what I mean?
Cole Kmet, yeah. There was a lot to go around, and they
Right.
so, but I do think another depth piece at wide receiver could be something to look
Yeah.
at.
Yeah.
So I think we'll stick with that, Daniel. Maybe we do. Let's see. I say we go with wide receiver from Colorado here.
Yep.
As I'm trying to maneuver my mouse. Hold on 1 second. All right, so let's go with my computer here. Sorry, y'all. Yeah, give me 1 second.
Oh man, you
My
moved to
computer,
Tennessee. You
all right,
moved
here
to
we go.
Tennessee, and you're saying
Webster.
y'all.
Yeah, sorry. My computer was freezing here for 1 second.
Did you
And so let's go ahead and put up our draft, what we've drafted here.
say y'all?
So here is what we got, Dano. Y'all, you get the y'alls when you come down further south, man. The accent starts
I
pulling out a little
know. I
bit.
know.
Unfortunately, I didn't have that when I lived in Chicago.
No.
When I grew up in Chicago.
No, over there.
So here we go. So we got first pick of the draft with the 10th to 10th. We took LSU tackle Will Campbell, Shamir Stewart, edge rusher Texas A&M. We did go with a running back with the third pick, running back North Carolina, Omarion Hampton. Then Omar Norman Lott, defensive tackle Tennessee. We do still have a couple more. We have 235 and 242 here with our last picks, but we went with a center here, Seth McLaughlin, LeJontay Webster, wide receiver Colorado, and we'll have two more picks left here, Dano, in the draft. We already took a safety a little bit earlier. I say we go for another defensive tackle, or I was thinking more depth piece as a linebacker. These were the two I was eyeing right here: Demonte Capehart from Clemson and James Dumas Johnson, also from Kentucky.
I like it. Whatever you. To be honest with you,
I'm gonna go with this Clemson defensive tackle.
At this point, for me, it's a crapshoot.
I remember watching him play.
Yeah, it's a crapshoot for me.
Yeah, well, it starts at the end of the draft here. Yeah, it starts getting a little bit more difficult here because then sometimes you don't even realize some of these players who are going to be on the team who are not going to be on the team. You just don't know at this point, depending on who you're drafting. But we're gonna have one more pick coming up here in just a second. After the Tennessee Titans, we're gonna have pick 242, and right now, I say we go another running back. No, I'm just kidding. Go another running back.
Speaking of running backs, I was watching. I was watching a video with Tariq Cohen today. Man, God, I forgot how good he was. I mean, he wasn't.
He got bad injury.
Just some of his highlight reels were amazing.
Yeah, he was really good, man. And then they had that horrible injury, and I felt so bad for him. And he tried to make that comeback, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
I'm thinking tight end here. Another depth piece for our tight end, John Michael Gillenberg from Wyoming.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, we're probably not going to bring back what's the guy from LA that they just
Everett.
He's probably not bringing him back.
I think another one would. I think another depth piece for tight end. I think that's something they're going to have to address in the offseason, whether it's through the draft or free agency.
Mm-hmm.
Trade for DK Metcalf gives Seattle our third. If Ian Callahan goes to the Jags, DK Metcalf's going to be interesting. I saw trade rumors popping up with him today about certain teams that would possibly go after him, especially now that Pete Carroll has gone to the Raiders.
Right.
So I don't know what's going to happen there.
It could be a reunion.
So, Dano, here's our final picks for the 2025 NFL Draft. We took our first pick was Will Campbell to offensive tackle LSU, Shamir Stewart, edge Texas A&M, Omarion Hampton, running back North Carolina, Omar Norman Lott, defensive tackle Tennessee. Then we took Seth McLaughlin. Here we go. Even better one. Sorry about that. Seth McLaughlin, Ohio State center, wide receiver, LeJontay Webster, Demonte Capehart from Clemson, defensive tackle, and John Michael Gillenborg, tight end, Wyoming.
I like it,
What do you
man.
think of our very first draft
I
there?
like it. I think we,
do
you know,
you think if we pop this up and then they pop that up, Ryan Poles and everybody at Hallis Hall pops that up and take a look side by side, like, man, we should just went with
hire these guys. Stat. I
yeah,
mean,
get these guys hired, everyone.
I mean, we filled quite a few needs. Potentially, we potentially filled some needs. So, I mean, I'm happy with it. With, like I said, again, with the information that we have now available to us, um, I'm happy with it. How about you?
I am, especially the first couple of needs. We've got an edge rusher and an offensive
Right.
tackle the first couple of picks, and that's kind of what I hope they go the first 2 picks of the draft. And everything that I've looked at in this draft so far between the offensive line and the defensive line, that's going to be very heavy
Mm-hmm.
for this type of draft. And I just don't know if it's going to be worth it trading picks back or not, especially when you have a chance to get players that you think you could plug and play right away that can make a
Right.
difference for you. It's going to be very difficult, and especially when you get to the 3rd and 4th picks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's going to happen after that. Maybe you do trade back and get some more, but at the same time, I don't know. I think this looks pretty good.
Yeah, I like it. What's the chat saying?
Look at Crooked Commish. He agrees with us.
Oh.
Crooked Commish says we need to draft a kicker. Dennis Moody's chiming in right now. I saw T. Higgins popping up in here. Yeah, I think T. Higgins is going to be probably the highest paid receiver in this year's free agent class.
Yeah.
And then Air 15 on A. Marquise Brown would be a fun, cheap speedster. That's what you're talking about a little bit earlier.
Yeah, Hollywood Brown. We've talked about it on CSP too. Some of the guys, and I think some of the guys over at 4-Star were talking about it too. But I think that would be a great pickup if they could somehow grab him.
Matt breaking Crooked Commish. Matt Eberflus is the lead guy to get the Cowboys DC. Be interesting if he lands somewhere, man. I think he'll coach somewhere this next year. I honestly, when it comes to him, I'm not quite sure. So,
right.
We're certainly gonna find out. But there's our final draft, guys. Thank you so much for participating with us tonight. Monsters of the Madhouse Chicago Sports Podcast. You guys could like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, our YouTube page. Check out all of our shows. Tomorrow, Trax is going to do Coffee with Trax. And he's going to go over the coaching searches, everything that's going on with the Bears coaches, a couple of new ones coming in, and he's going to break it down and get what you need to know about what is going on. So thank you guys for watching tonight. Dan, it was good to see you tonight.
Thank you, buddy.
And hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next
time. Go Bills.